Calvin Ridley has been making the news cycle because there's talk about a potential trade for him. Now, this is really quick. We can make this really brief and then get into our preview and predictions for the divisional round.
Let's do it.
What do you think is the best destination for Calvin Ridley? We know he took a break from the Falcons due to mental health issues. There hasn't been an official report yet made from the Atlanta Falcons that they want to trade Ridley, but there's been a lot of rumors circulating that they would love a second-round pick, a conditional one that maybe could turn into a first-rounder. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2023. There would be a lot of suitors in the market. Now, what team do you want to see Calvin Ridley on?
There's a ton of teams that could use him. I have like 12 listed here, but there's just a couple things you have to think about. One, hopefully all of his mental health is good. That's first and foremost. Got to make sure that he's back, fully committed to football, and he's ready to play. That's first and foremost. He's also a bit older, I think, than a lot of people imagine he is. He's going to be 29 at the end of next season.
What?
Already? I know it's insane, but he was 24 years old as a rookie. That's why he was a very old rookie.
What in God's name?
And for reference, Jamar Chase had just turned 21 in this past season. So he was an old rookie who came in. And then, as you mentioned, he's a free agent in 2023. So you would have to trade a second-round pick, like you mentioned, possibly conditional that turns into a first. He's going to be 30, in 2023, and you're going to have to pay him $20 million. So I know we've talked a lot about the Jets potentially getting him. I would love it. It would be really cool for Zach and us to finally have a wide receiver one again. It's been since Brandon Marshall, since we really had like a dominant wide receiver.
Santonio Holmes,
even in those days.
Eric Decker?
He was a 2 to Marshall.
He was.
I don't see
Justin
Joe
Keller.
Douglas. I don't see Joe Douglas giving up premium draft capital to go after a 29-year-old wide receiver and then having to pay him $20 million. I don't see Joe Douglas doing that, even though it would help Zach Wilson.
Do you think he deserves 20?
Kenny Galladay got 17.
Okay.
But a couple other teams that are ready to make a Super Bowl run, even though we love the Jets, they're not there yet. The Patriots, as we talked about earlier, is one of those teams.
They're ready to make a Super Bowl run?
Yeah, sure.
Who?
Why not? The Patriots?
The Pats.
If they get a true wide receiver one, you have Bill Belichick coaching up that defense, why not?
That defense got smoked, though, bro.
I know, but
their defense, I think, is not as good as we think they are.
I have all the faith in Belichick to be able to make it work.
So I can understand where
they were
he's
the best
coming
defense
from.
in the league.
You
they
can
had
argue
moments.
that-
Do I agree with you? No. Do I see what you're saying?
Can they not win a playoff game next year?
Yes, but
then
Super
you're
Bowl
right in the
run,
hope.
The Super Bowl run's crazy. There's just
You could go down to the final 6 teams. You're pretty damn good.
It's just like, who are you going to project to be better for the future? The Bengals or them?
Bengals.
There you go.
But at the end of the day, it's a 1-game playoff series, and you have Bill Belichick going up against all these teams. He's going to be the best coach every time.
The Dolphins are getting
I don't
better
know.
too.
He
I'm
got
not just
outcoached
saying
for Sean
that.
McDermott.
Bro, it's a once-in-a-lifetime.
And Brian Dable. Brian Dable outcoached them.
There's teams that are getting better.
Okay, if you don't want to give it a Super Bowl run,
He's
a
70.
playoff run, a team that needs a wide receiver and is ready to make a step, and at least think the Patriots are going to go into next season thinking
Hungry.
they could go for a Super Bowl.
I agree.
Okay, so Patriots are one of your
Patriots,
options.
another team is the Ravens. I think if you add him to Marquise Brown and Bateman and Andrews, all of a sudden you have a top 5 weapons room in the NFL. The Colts would be another one who have always seemed to be like a receiver away. You get Carson Wentz, another weapon to pair up with Michael Pittman. So those are at least the the contenders. There's a bunch of other teams that could use him, but those are just kind of top of my head that I think he would go and make a difference and be able to go on a playoff run.
Okay, now, what team do you want to see Ridley on?
I mean, I want to see him on the Jets.
Come on.
I want to see him on the Jets, but I also understand the hesitancy.
Unbiased opinion.
Ravens.
You want to see Ridley on the Ravens?
That'd be so cool. I love Lamar.
Are we my turn now?
Yeah.
100%. Miami. They need that number 2 option to pair with Jalen Waddle. That would also give Mike Gesicki a little bit of leniency as well.
He's a free agent, I believe.
I think they bring him back. Mike Gesicki's one of the better tight ends in the league. That's not saying much. That's
Can't block, though.
He cannot block to save his life. There's not many guys on that.
He doesn't even line up as a tight end, bro.
Yeah, you're not telling me much.
90% of the time.
Yeah, listen, bro, I'm with you.
Not a lot of tight ends get paid to block.
Yeah, no, especially nowadays. I mean, Kelsey's the best tight end in the league, and he's not the world's best blocker by any means. However, now you bring in Calvin. What? That's wrong.
I think
He's a good blocker.
He's not. He's a good blocker. He's not an elite blocker. He's not Kelsey. He's not Kittle, or he's not
Kelsey,
Gronk.
Kittle, and Andrews don't get paid to block. They get paid to make big catches, and that's what Gesicki does.
Kittle was.
But Andrews is a great blocker, though.
Kittle was labeled better than Kelsey I think the year that Kelsey broke the record for receiving yards because Kittle could block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying Kittle doesn't get a huge contract.
Kittle Kittle is
Fair.
an elite blocker.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think Kelsey probably is not an elite blocker, but he's a great one.
Yeah, he's
though.
really good.
He's great.
He's
I think so.
he's
Let me
big.
hit the film room and I will let you know if he's
Tight end
great.
blocking
That's
film.
it, right? That's what I got to do. However, like I was saying about the Dolphins, they need another option on the outside. Will Fuller coming into this year was supposed to be that guy. You paid him $10 million for 1 year, and he only played barely a game for you. I think he played a quarter, something around those lines. Will Fuller barely played for them, and the Dolphins were one of the league leaders in drops this year. They were 8th in total drops in 24. And as much as I like Devontae Parker as a ball player, he's not an option that I want on the outside. Calvin Ridley showed that he can do it by himself. Given the fact that Julio was not on the field a good portion of last season, and even still, Calvin Ridley had over 1,300 yards and a boatload of touchdowns. He's had double-digit touchdowns in his career already in a season. I just think you bring that to that extra factor to Miami's offense on top of continuously building that offensive line. They have the cap space. I believe they have the most cap space in the NFL, so they could pay him if once his contract expires, they would be suitors to give him a contract as well. I feel like that's probably the best destination for Calvin Ridley.
I'm looking at his PFF grade, so he's a good run blocker, probably below average. This year, 59.7 run blocking grade. 2020 was at 79 though. For his career, he's been around like the 60s to 70s area.
I wasn't saying that he was bad.
Yeah.
He's not a great blocker to me. At least the numbers back it up.
So you want to see him in Miami?
I would like to see him in Miami. I feel like I would not be opposed to the Jets because I agree with you. You bring Zach Wilson, a true number one option that just
opens up everything
beyond
you can't
belief.
stack the box, you can't,
and you put him with LaFleur. Really,
Yeah.
they could just really do some dynamic
you got
things.
Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, and Calvin Ridley. Oof.
But now you bring in the Alabama crew of Ridley, Waddle, and Tua. That really starts to get me excited.
That just sounded
You know what? I'll say it again. You bring in Waddle. You bring in Ridley to pair with Waddle and Tua. It really it gets me excited.
Yeah, for
100%. One of the fastest, most explosive, clean route running duo wide receivers in the NFL.
wow. Kind of got stuck.
Little parched,
in my throat,
bro?
but yeah, I kind of got like something stuck in my throat right now.
What if that is?
Calvin Ridley, what team I want to see him on? There are a couple options. The Dolphins are one. The Patriots, the Eagles are another one that's a sleeper.
Browns are huge too. We haven't mentioned.
Facts.
The Browns are huge, I think, too. The Saints could use one, but their cap situation is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The Colts, I would love that. They need a true number one threat, definitely. I want to see Ridley on the Jets. If the Jets want Zach Wilson to take that leap next season,
To take flight.
they need to bring in a wide receiver number one. And what better guy to bring in than an all-pro in Calvin Ridley? I understand his age. He'll be 29 at the end of next season. But I look at the Jets. If you can have a receiving core of Elijah Moore, Calvin Ridley, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios not even in the mix, but, come in as a replacement guy here and then on some snaps. We get a tight end, Dalton Schultz. I think this offense becomes scary. And
I like that.
I do.
I like that.
I think Zach Wilson takes a gigantic leap to the point that the Jets are in playoff contention next year. Might not make it, but we'd be in the mix. And if it comes down to a week 17, week 18 game, I know for a fact he won't do what Tua did. And Zach will get it done.
If he's playing the best team in the AFC, I have my doubts.
He beat the best team in the AFC.
Who?
Zach.
We beat the Titans and the Bengals.
But they had no Derrick Henry. They had no A.J. Brown. They had no
Neither did
Julio
the
Jones.
Oh, they didn't have Derrick Henry either.
They did. They did have Derrick Henry. You guys did have Derrick Henry. Facts.
yeah,
You
they didn't have
did.
the receivers.
Facts.
Didn't have the receivers. Yeah.
Bro, fumbled.
The Jets have to be having meaningful games
because Derrick Henry had like 1,000 touches.
Yeah.
Zach beat
Next
them.
December, bro, we have to be in meaningful games. We have to be 8 wins. Like, we have to be ready to fight for the playoffs. And I'd love that. I just don't trust Douglas to make
And
that
that's
move.
the thing. Joe Douglas is very smart and calculated with his decisions. So I don't know if he'd go out and trade for a guy like Ridley, but the reason why I believe he will is because you look at the free agency crop of wide receivers this offseason. Mike Williams, I wouldn't trust him. I'd rather trust Ridley. I'd rather pay Ridley than Mike Williams. Allen Robinson, I'd rather pay Ridley than Robinson. I don't think there's a chance in hell we get Devontae Adams. So he's just off the table. Gallup, torn ACL. Godwin, torn ACL. I think those are more riskier than Ridley. And
I would take Godwin over Ridley easy.
I don't see a top wide receiver in this draft outside of Jameson Williams that the Jets should spend the 10th overall pick on. I don't think Joe Douglas is going to spend the 10th overall pick on a receiver.
I agree.
The only way to get a game-breaking one is by trading for Ridley or signing one. And I think the Jets are going to be uber aggressive in doing that. We have the 35th pick and the 38th pick in the draft. 2 second-rounders. We got one from the Sam Darnold trade. Essentially, we traded Sam Darnold for Calvin Ridley. The Falcons just won a second-round pick. Trade them the pick Carolina gave us. Essentially, we traded Sam Darnold for Calvin Ridley. I take that 10 times out of 10. We'll handle whether we pay him or not later. Let's just get him in the building. Let's get Calvin Ridley in there. Get a weapon for Zach. And I told you guys through text, man. Zach gonna get Ridley's mental real right. He's a great guy. He's a good dude.
He is.
I think he has the brightest smile in the world. And just that alone, I think Ridley's gonna really shine in New York with Zach Wilson. He's a perfect fit for Michael LaFleur's offense, a West Coast scheme, perfect route runner. This was a match made in heaven. I think the Jets inevitably trade for Calvin Ridley, and they will be the surprise of the NFL next year, and Zach Wilson is going to show all of his haters why he's the best quarterback in the 2021 NFL draft class. There's no doubt about that.
I'm glad there's no Zach Wilson haters here.
Yeah, of course not.
I can't hate on him. I'd be stupid too.
Yeah.
I really do think he's nice.
He is.
He's nice.
I'm excited, bro.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
He's so good.
Dalton Schultz, I'm really quick. Do you think it's a contract year type situation where he played very well because it was a contract year? Or
This
do
is
you
really
believe
his first opportunity too?
Correct.
Because Blake Jarwin got hurt last year, and then they had obviously Dak was hurt, so it's completely different.
The Jets have room for error. We have cap space. We have a ton of picks. I would still draft the tight end, even if I do sign Schultz.
But what's that contract going to look like? Are you going to give him?
I don't think it's going to be.
Are you going to give him Jonnu money?
I don't think it's going to be insane.
He might be worth more than Jonnu at this point.
But I will say this though: anything is better than Ryan Griffin.
Agreed.
Tyler Kroft.
I agree.
So Dalton Schultz, he would have the same role in New York that he had in Dallas, essentially, if we do get Ridley. Ridley and Moore, our first two options. Corey Davis now becomes our third option. Even Corey Davis could be our second option. You really never know.
Yeah, we can move up that contract after next year.
And then we have Dalton Schultz. And the way that Joe Douglas structures his contracts, he's very calculated. He always puts the Jets in the best position. I think we'll be fine.
So Goddard's making $57 million. Are you giving Dalton Schultz 60?
He's going to be around that $50 million range probably.
Would you give Dalton Schultz 60 mil?
Yes.
Yeah?
How many years?
It didn't seem very, probably four
years.
So 15 a year for Dalton Schultz, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's a lot.
that's a
It's
risk.
expensive.
I don't think he's going to get more than Goddard, though. Goddard is better.
This year, Schultz was crazy good.
He was mad
He was
good.
crazy good.
It's also a very,
High-powered offense.
pass-happy offense.
But if you bring in Ridley, you sign Dalton Schultz, Corey Davis is your number 2 again. Elijah Moore actually would take that number 2.
Yeah.
I think that would be more beneficial.
Yeah.
Maybe it gets worth it, but I don't know if I would take that risk. It's a lot of money.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm down. I don't really care.
I bet
I'm
you
going
are.
all in. I'm going all in with my chips.
Fair enough.
It doesn't. For me, the Jets have to go all in. They
You
have
just
to
need to
put
stay
all the
healthy,
chips.
Are you going
on
to
the table.
project
Just stay
Zach to be
healthy.
better than Dak next year? Because if that's the case, I'm fine with the Dalton Schultz signing.
Do I project Zach to be better than Dak?
Yes.
That's tough. No.
Not
It's a
quite
loaded
there yet.
question. It's a loaded question. And
But I
I'm
will say
putting you on the
this.
spot. I'm sorry.
I will say this. The Jets had the 13th ranked offensive line this year. And
Douglas is the thing.
Surprising.
I know people are going to,
Without Mackay.
Yes.
I know, but George Fant was awesome at left tackle.
True.
I know people are going to take that stat and use it to knock Zach Wilson. Oh, man, he had great protection. Oh, and he was mid at best. All right, whatever. You can use that. The reason I won't use that, and the reason why I think it's a positive, is because you know what that tells me? That tells me the Jets aren't a dumpster fire. I'd much rather Zach be bad with our supporting cast good than him be bad with an awful cast like Darnold. because now I can truly gauge what Zach is. Okay, this isn't working because it's Zach, right? But he got better as the season progressed. And the fact that our offensive line is the 13th ranked offensive line, Joe Douglas built it up from the last one to 13th. It's only going to get better.
I agree.
He's going to draft an offensive lineman early in the draft. We know that's what Joe Douglas does.
Yep.
He's probably going to sign some depth at that position, if not a primetime guy like a Brandon Scherf. You never know. We can really do that.
You'd love that?
If we'd have a top 5 line.
Yeah.
Elijah Vera Tucker is a Pro Bowl level guard. Yes. Connor McGovern is a starting center. If we get, he's a Pro Bowl level left tackle.
Absolutely,
Our left side of the offensive line is great. Even if it's George Fant starting there, it's great. Morgan Moses bringing him back at the right tackle, that'll be fine. We're gonna have a great offensive line. I think we're gonna have a top 10 offensive line next year. We just get the weapons. I would even draft a running back, another to complement Mike Carter. And now we're talking. I think Zach's gonna have a breakout season like this. You can knock him for having a better situation than other rookie quarterbacks this year outside of Mac Jones. Okay, I agree. I would say Mac and Lance had better situations. There's no doubt. Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence, I guess theirs was slightly worse, even though the Bears' offensive line wasn't bad either. Like, they were like middle of the pack, and so were the Jaguars. They were all middle of the pack. So all these guys had similar situations in a sense. I think Zach takes that leap next year, and I'm glad that we're not a dumpster fire. The Jets are heading in the right direction. We got the right coach. We got the right play caller. We got the right GM who makes smart trades. I think I love this. I think we're trending in the right direction.
Without a doubt. I'm very high on you guys.
It's about staying healthy. That's going to be number one. It's been year after year. We got hurt. We saw at the end of this season Elijah Moore go down, Corey Davis go down.
I think we're the number one team in terms of
injury,
our salary cap in the IR.
Yeah.
On the IR.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and we're looking into it like with the medicine and all this performance stuff.
I believe in years past we were looking a lot at ACLs, and this year we had a lot of Achilles injuries. So that was something that Douglas said in his press conference that's one thing they're going to look at because Carl Lawson went down, Marcus May went down. Why are they getting these huge Achilles injuries that ends your season? So the number one thing is going to be stay healthy because I think if our defense stayed healthy this year, we wouldn't have been this bad. If Carl Lawson was able to play and Marcus May was able to stay healthy, like our defense would have been ranked 32nd.
We can be I think next year we're like the 21st ranked defense in the NFL.
I was going to say, you got to fix the rush D.
Our offense, I just think, has to make that jump to be like a top 15 offense.
Which
and
it
then
can.
We'll be fine. Yeah,
the pass offense was there.